More cable, more cable.
Don't fall.
I want to be able to get as close to you as humanly possible.
I think it's in a knot. Pull!
What? This is an anime con. It's supposed to be creepy. Who are you kidding? I know what happens here. This isn't my first rodeo, you know.
No, stays on YouTube.
No, actually what happens at an anime convention gets plastered all over the internet.
Yes.
It's the exact opposite of Vegas. Exactly.
Oh, look.
How are you guys doing? I am so glad you're here because you know what? This is kind of one of my favorite things to do. I know it's an anime con. I know. Believe me. But I also know that just as you guys love anime and video games and you get your mom and dad and your friends to help you make awesome costumes and you pour your passion and your love and your talents and your skills into anime and things that you love and going to conventions. Well, when I was your age, yes, there was a time.
You are our age.
I was your age, and when I was your age, I did exactly the same thing. Can you turn the lights down? Maybe go back there and see if that control panel back there will turn the lights on a little. Yes, this is me at about 12 years old with my favorite phaser of all time.
Oh, God.
Ooh, let me tell you about this phaser. You just, in fact, you know what? Go and turn them off for a minute.
Whoa.
Kill it. Let me tell you about this phaser for a minute. First of all, this is a phaser called a Brad Nelson phaser. Well, the reason it's special is because Brad Nelson was actually hired. Many of you don't know this because, of course, you weren't born. You remember the original series of Star Trek. It ran from 67, 68, 69, and then it became very popular in syndication, right? So Paramount was going to make a new series. You may not know that. In the early 70s, they were going to make a new series called Star Trek Phase 2. All of the original cast was going to be back, and it was going to be a new series. At the last minute, something happened in the mid-70s. Something happened that changed their minds, and you know what it was?
Star Wars?
Star Wars was released.
Oh, no.
And when Star Wars came out, Paramount said, hey, why don't we scrap the TV series thing? Let's make movies. And that's when they at the last minute, they scrapped Star Trek Phase 2, the series, and they made Star Trek the Motion Picture and Star Trek the Wrath of Khan! And on and on and on. However, while they were still in pre-production to make the new series, they hired a guy named Brad Nelson to redesign and tweak the phaser a little bit. And unbeknownst to me, at this time, this is like 70, wow, I don't even know, 70, 75, 74, 75? Unbeknownst to me, I bought this phaser from a magazine for $75. And you guys, back then, for a 12-year-old kid, that was a lot of money. I saved all my money, and I was so proud of this phaser, and I had no idea what I had. But like you could put batteries in the handle, and you could turn on this switch back here. You could rotate it, and it would come on. And oh no, wait, this one. You would turn it on here, and it would make this little hum, like it was doing something. And then you could fire the trigger, and the emitter would flash like a strobe light. And you could change the one in the back to make it fire at different speeds. I loved this phaser. I was so proud of this phaser. I took it to school with me.
Yes.
Yeah, you know where this is going, don't you? I took it to school and I showed it off to all my friends and was bragging about it. And ooh ah, ooh ah. And then we were all going to go to lunch, and I didn't want to leave it I didn't want to take it to lunch with me. That's what I meant to say. I didn't want to take it to the cafeteria with me and get food on it, for goodness sake. So I put it in a drawer.
Aww.
And when I came back, it was gone.
Oh.
And I never saw it again.
Aww.
However, I did find out just last year that this was a Brad Nelson phaser that was designed for the series that never happened, and today they're worth about $5,000.
Oh!
Can you believe that? Who knew, right? 75 bucks when that picture was taken. And I made this uniform. My mom taught me to sew, and I made my own little uniform.
Yeah!
Now, you would probably think that, well, Vic, you were young then. You were a child.
There's no
But you grew out of it, didn't you? No, of course I didn't grow out of it, because in college, I was still doing it.
Yeah!
So, this is me doing my best Captain Kirk. And my friend Ken Castle here, he must have been my friend because he let me do that to his ears. And my friend Ruth Dentel, she was a costumer in the drama department at the college I went to. So this is us dressing up for Halloween. Now, we're gonna have a good old-fashioned trivia contest, okay?
Oh no.
Did you not know what this was about?
Nope.
You just saw a Star Trek panel, right?
Yep.
Oh, believe me, I can waste an hour talking about Star Trek as best as anybody. But this is normally a trivia challenge. These panels are your chance to try to stump me
Oh God.
with questions from the original series of Star Trek.
Okay.
Now, it has not been done very much yet. The current score from all of the Star Trek trivia panels that I've done is Vic 95, fans 11. So most of the things I know, and it's pretty scary, like all of the useless information that is trapped in my brain from back when I was a big fan. But we're gonna have a trivia contest, and here are the rules. Original series only. In other words, don't ask me Next Generation and movies and Deep Space Nine and Voyager and blah 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 blah. Original series only. No incidental actor names. In other words, who was the guy standing behind Kirk? What? No. Sorry, not important. No production or behind-the-scenes questions. In other words, who was the woman who made Mr. Spock's ears pointed? Sorry, no. Who did the makeup for so-and-so? No. Not behind-the-scenes production stuff. No.
Sad.
Number 4, no planet names. Now, even though I do remember a lot of the planet names, they're usually kind of just said once and they're not really that important. So. And the same thing with star dates, or numbers. Usually star dates change every time they come back from the commercial, so they're not really that important. And I didn't memorize them. And then finally, you need to know the answer. So don't ask me a question that you don't know the answer to, and then try to trick me and tell me that I was wrong.
What if we're just playing curious?
Okay, and wait a minute though, there's a prize. If you successfully stump me with a question, I am going to give you a signed picture that looks like this. Yes. So, all right, let's turn those lights back on and go back to the trivia rules. Go back to the rules again. All right. However, if I know the answer, there has to be some consequences, right?
Oh my God.
I will shoot you with my phaser. Don't worry, it's just at the stump. All right, who's got a question? Does anybody here have a question from the original series that you dare ask me?
I think we're all afraid.
Yes? I'm sorry? When was it on? 1966, 67, 67, 68, 68, 69. Come here. Come here. I need to make an example of you. If I get the question right, you have to be shot. Thanks for playing. Well, you didn't think it was a real phaser, did you? It has to shoot something. I suppose it could shoot pudding or something, but... Okay, does somebody have a question? Yes.
Izumi-con in the original series.
Yes, he did, but he didn't meet Chekhov, is who I think you're thinking of. Remember in Wrath of Khan? There was a big glaring continuity